This is Joseph Hagan from Philadelphia. This word is on the issue of the aliens that have come to the border for asylum. On the issue of the aliens that have come to the border for asylum, they have been turned back and told that they are not welcome here by the Attorney General with a mandate issued by President Donald Trump, whose name Robert Barr, but it started with some other person about it. This is a mandate issued by President Donald Trump on the issue of the aliens that have come to the border for asylum. And my understanding is this is a legal passageway. This is not illegal. This does not please Jesus, but makes him angry. Let us go to the Gospels of Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 through 46. What stands out in this gospel passage is the quote that came from Jesus when he said, in verses 37 to 40. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? Jesus responds, verse 40. It says, the king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. In verses 41 through 43, he says, then he will say to those on his left, depart from me, you who are cursed, into eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. Indeed, I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me. I was a stranger or alien, and you did not invite me in. Then in verses 44 through 46, Jesus says, they also will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or sick or in prison and did not help you? You will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. Those who make a practice of not meeting the needs of people, especially the needs of children, Jesus says that they will go away to eternal punishment. Those who make a practice of meeting the needs of people, especially children, will be declared righteous and will enter eternal life. Amongst all of what Jesus said about hunger, thirst, needing clothes, being sick, being in prison, is about being a stranger and not being invited in. Trump is not inviting you to be people. Parents and children being separated from each other. And some of them have been left for dead. Of course, if one is on a long journey through some wilderness, with certain dangers that can accompany that journey, one can have one or more of these needs lacking during that trip, or certainly at the end of that trip. I point this one in particular out, the need to invite a stranger in. It speaks to the families who travel over this long and treacherous journey to come to the United States for asylum, escaping what they believe is a life or death situation in the country, and that they must seek refuge in another country, such as the United States, that can protect them from such a danger. These particular refugees that have been denied inches. Not only denied inches, but having the parents' children stripped and separated from them, not knowing where they had been taken, is a grave violation of the command of God and of his heart. Jesus said in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, in Matthew chapter 19, verse 13, 14, and 15, we read, "Then the people brought little children to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked them. Jesus had said, 'Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them. The kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these.' When he had placed his hands on them, he went on from there." Luke chapter 18, verse 13 through 17, Luke says, "People were also bringing babies to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. When the disciples saw this, they rebuked them. But Jesus called the little children to him and said, 'Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it.'" Some words about the pardoning of the former sheriff Joseph Arpaio by President Donald Trump. The law that was handed down against Sheriff Joseph Arpaio was a correct call. He should not have been arresting people for raising up them just with illegal lines. This is a transgression of the laws of God, circumscribed by the Bible. But President Trump does not obey God. He wants to do his own thing and do things his own way. He does not care for the Constitution of the United States. But he can be persuaded the hard way. Case in point, the United States Treasury Department forced him to sanction Russia over the Russian interference of the 2016 presidential election. He used this action to show that he did not have anything to do with colluding with the Russians to become president of the United States. The sanctions that were levied against Russia were not that heavy enough to get the Russians scared to stop interfering in the United States political system. Regardless of what Obama or Clinton did or did not do, Donald Trump, as a presidential candidate, did not have to collude with the Russians to become president of the United States. Circumstances surrounding that time provided him the opportunity. He also had the motive. And he and his family has been seen with people who can be viewed as very suspicious. These are two or three that the law looks to see if possible transgression of the law has been committed by someone. Motive: his Finnish empire was not looking good. He was losing much. He had a need to look for ways to build it back up. His tax returns tell a huge story. He wants to provide the best in this world for his children and extended family. Your father worthy to be called father does not. Opportunity, being the president of the United States, provides all the opportunity in the universe. He can look for a better deal within the United States. He can look for a better deal all over the world. It is a global economy. As far as the illegal alien issue is concerned, in order to have a reliable company or corporation, you really do need legal citizens. How else are you going to have a proper accounting of assets? And it is important that the government can properly oversee what's going on amongst the people within that country that they are responsible for. As far as DACA is concerned, this has to do with the alien's children. The legal age to work and the usefulness of the children that is under the DACA label provides a greater asset to the company than the seniors. Excuse me. But do not make a mistake. The seniors provide assets to a workforce that the youth do not. You do need both of them. During his presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants, including their United States citizen children. Now, as the United States president, he seems to have gone back on his word. He will now keep the children of the United States from being deported. Now the children of those so-called illegal aliens to stay. But all of a sudden, he's going back on his word to allow them to stay, blaming the Democrats, saying they failed to strike a deal that would keep them here. The truth is, but all the while, he's aimed to keep this from happening why? So that he can keep his campaign promise to his supporters. President Trump sees this and everything else as a game to win. But border walls another. Go back to that. All that I have said concerning those so-called illegal aliens. The Lord does not view them as illegal aliens. He has compassion on them. They have escaped their government's oppression. Before the Lord, he allows them to escape oppression. Colonies in America escaped oppression from the King of England. That's why you're living here in this land called the United States of America. He does not like how the United States government is treating the so-called illegal aliens. They are not justified to call them illegal aliens. Those that are among the United States citizens, especially the United States president. These aliens come from down in the South. The Bible speaks of natural occurrences of earth that can be directed for devastation purposes, that come upon the earth and man. Because of the sin of man and these devastations, man can be directly from these devastations can be directly from the Lord himself. Man has an agenda, so does the Lord himself. His agenda overcomes and wipes out the agenda of man. Man plans his way, but God directs his steps. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. To be fair to the United States, though, the Mexican government must stop allowing those people, or Mexican people, to leave their country, the United States. The road that they have to travel is very dangerous and treacherous. This does not care for their welfare. Their citizens are to be put first. The Mexican government is to put their people first. They are commanded by the Lord to take real good care of their citizens that he has put under their charge. The Lord says that their citizens are first. Excuse me. My mouth is like a potsherd. What happened to the American native in this country, but very unfortunately to the Indians, as they are known mostly in this country? They are living in what is called reservations. They are isolated pretty much from the rest of the United States. Their ancestors are driven off their very homeland by the white man, placed in those reservations. Many of them escaped to Canada, and much of their people were killed off. The foreigners of this land were like the so-called illegal aliens. They were unwanted by those who lived there first, but those who lived there first were willing to try to accept those who had come. Others were not, but those who had attacked the foreigners were not wanted at first. Eventually, the Native Americans, many of whom died through these aliens that came to the land, many died through the diseases brought to them by these foreigners, aliens, and many had to flee to Canada and Mexico because they were being killed both by the invasion of the white men. There are other reasons too. Now, many who are still here are put into what is called reservations. Reservations, generally. Now, many who are still here are put into what is called reservations. This is not freedom for these Native Americans. This is in part captivity. This United States of America is a supposed free world. I'll come back later, around 10 o'clock. Stay tuned, okay? Well, not 10, about 10:30. 10:30 or 11.